तो नमस्कार, सलाम, आदाब। मैं फ़ैज़ अस्करी SME स्ट्रीट व्यू पॉइंट लेकर के आपके पास में फिर से आया हूँ और आज जिस टॉपिक पे हम बात करेंगे वो होगा MSME क्रेडिट रेटिंग। और आज हमारे साथ में MSME क्रेडिट रेटिंग को डिस्कस करने के लिए एक रिनाउंड फाइनेंशियल एक्सपर्ट मिस्टर S रवि हमारे साथ में आ रहे हैं, जो कि बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के एक्स चेयरमैन हैं और रवि राजन को के फाउंडर हैं। और हम उनसे ये समझने की कोशिश करेंगे कि वो MSME क्रेडिट रेटिंग को लेकर के किस किस तरीके की चीज़ों को एक हमें बता सकते हैं कि जो MSMEs को, जो बिज़नेस ओनर्स को हेल्प करेगी उनके और बैंकर के कम्युनिकेशन को सक्सेसफुल बनाने में। क्रेडिट और फाइनेंस MSME के लिए कितना इम्पॉर्टेंट है, ये किसी भी MSME ओनर से हम ये बात जान सकते हैं और लगभग सबका ही ये कहना होगा कि फाइनेंस और क्रेडिट यानी MSME बैंकिंग उनके बिज़नेस को चलाने के लिए या ग्रो करने के लिए सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट, सबसे अहम चीज़ है। लेकिन इस जर्नी में, इस स्ट्रीम में क्या क्या ज़रूरी चीज़ें होती हैं जो एक MSME ओनर को फुलफ़िल करनी होती हैं, और वो क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस होते हैं जो एक बैंकर MSME से चाहता है। आज हम लोग इसी टॉपिक पे बात करेंगे।
Thank you, Faiz. Thank you so much for calling me, and it's a pleasure to have be with you all the time. And let me start by saying that for any industry, especially MSME, SMEs, it's important to have a good credit score, because without which the banks do not actually entertain a proposal. So at least an investable grade, the point should be, if you look at from a CIBIL point of view, more than 700 at least. From a credit rating point, investable grade at least, because once you go below the investable grade, then it becomes very difficult for the bankers to fund anything, and the industry cannot take any further funding. So it's very imperative, in my view, to have a good credit score, and people should be cognizant of the fact that this is the credit score they have to maintain all the time. Businesses go out through ups and downs, but I think we should keep an eye on the credit score all the time. And it is important, because what happens, the future of the company depends on the type of credit score, the type of funding that they get, and that is very important.
So why is it important for banking institution is to just understand and get more confidence on the company. But for an organization perspective, what are the essential parameters one should keep in mind while doing business, while maintaining the banking and the banking relations with their respective bank in order to ensure their credit score?
If you look at most of the SMEs and MSMEs, basically what happens is the owner's capital is there, and the bank also becomes a very integral partner of the whole system. So it is not about myself, but also about how I keep my other stakeholders happy. How do you keep your stakeholders happy is by giving a grade, keeping an eye on the credit score, because then they will be investing more. What are the factors that take to answer the question? See, it depends on the financial performance. Have you, with your projections, have you gone with the projections? Have you defaulted or not defaulted? Are your payments being made on time? What is the industry in which they are working? What is the beta factor to it? What is the risk factor to it? And are we in line with the industry or not? What is the governance structure to a certain extent? Whether there is a transparency, whether there are no check bounces, whether all the receivables and debtors are in control. So there are multiple factors which determine credit rating score. And I think it is important. Most important is the financial parameters, and living up to the debt cycle, and actually honoring the debt cycle is a very, very big must, because every industry has its own challenges. And I think the industry, we have to be at par with the industry, if not better than them.
Perfect. So, is there any advisory, bankers normally send? Because, there is, why this question arises is, when MSME goes to the bank and when he gets a certain amount of demotivating feedbacks while the MSME is seeking some loan or MSME loan, and then they get disappointed on the basis of whatever relations they have. uh, it becomes a very difficult position. So to avoid such conditions, to avoid such situations in the bank, uh, apart from honoring the proper payment cycles, apart from honoring proper following proper EMI schedules, what are the other, is there any balance maintenance kind of thing? Is there any parameter which says about an MSME need to increase their you can say the bank balance or something of that sort?
So I am very clear. So how do we keep a good credit score with the bank, and how do we learn about it? Whenever we go to a bank, when we start a relationship, there is something which the bankers will have it in the sanctioned condition. So I will have to give so much security, I will be allowed so much working capital, I will have so much DP, drawing power, I will have so much of CC. All these conditions are there. And we also, when we go, we actually give a set of projections to the banks. I will assume I'll get 10 crores of turnover or 50 crores of turnover. I will have a gross profit or net profit of such and such. So these projections are given on the basis of which the bank provides us the loan. So it is the duty of the promoters and the company to see that those benchmarks which have been projected are met with. And sometimes it is not possible to meet. Some incidents does happen. Then it's very important that a dialogue with the bankers explaining why this has not happened and why it can happen better the next year.
Exactly.
So because you are accountable to the bank which is giving money. So it's important. It's a two-way street. It's not about just you just doing the work, but also to be accountable to the bank where you have taken money, because your security is also at stake. You have done a particular projection, and that projection needs to be kept all the time. An eye on the projection has to be kept, so that the bankers are also happy with the type of projections. And there can be lean years, there can be years which can be different. Like what happened in COVID, we saw restructuring happened across. So these are abnormal situations. There can be an industry problem also. So suddenly some metal, some steel, something that has become more expensive. But all that should be factored in. And also it is important for a promoter to keep a contingency of 5-10% in their projections for any such contingency. And even how do they pay the wages? Do they pay them on time? How do you manage the receivables? How do you manage the debtors? Whatever is the current ratio which we have committed, all the financial ratios that we have committed are kept. So it is a constant sort of communication with the bank, which can make it a very helpful situation for the promoter.
So apart from the lending and within the lending space, is it like working capital also affects the credit scoring?
So what happens? Suppose I require higher working capital next year. So if I see if the banker sees too much of receivable is there or too much of debtors is there, the bankers may feel not very happy, but still they may give you the limiting, enhance the limit. But the next year you have to perform. So the bankers will look at your performance, whatever is your performance. And the two critical things are the payments you are getting all the payments on time, and your stock is kept as required. Suppose there is a dead stock or stock which is not moving. So these are things which actually when we take out the drawing power, these are all eliminated out. So it is important that people do the right type of stocking, the right type of inventory, and the right type of debtors, and focus on recovery, because money recovered is actually money in cash, and it will help in funneling the growth of the company.
So, in order to summarize this credit score thing, what are your, piece of advice to the business owners, entrepreneurs?
So first advice I've already given: keep keep the promise, keep the projections. If the projections are not met, please go and engage with the bankers, because the bankers will understand. In most of the cases, they will understand. And see, now it's system driven also to a great extent. All the banks are system driven, so the computer and this thing system will throw out this is not this thing. Then another thing is, what is the credit score you have got? Suppose you've got an X credit score or double A score. Can you make it double A plus the next year by a better performance? Can you improve your score from B to BB plus or A, like that? So I think it is very important to keep an eye and understand the mechanism of credit score. What happens? People don't understand the mechanism of credit score, how the points and the matrix works. Suppose there is an industry which is very tough, the credit score will come down because the risk of the industry is high. So it is also important we keep the business and the risk together. So evaluating the risk and mitigating the risk is the key, and engaging with the bankers is the key, in my view.
तो आपने देखा, हमने जो बात करी रवि साहब से कि एमएसएमई क्रेडिट रेटिंग कितनी इम्पॉर्टेंट है, एमएसएमई इसको क्या क्या वो इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स को कंसीडर करना होता है और कंसीडर करना चाहिए कि अपने कम्युनिकेशन को एक सक्सेसफुल कम्युनिकेशन के तौर पे बनाएं, जो कि बैंकर से उनका होता है। एमएसएमई लेंडिंग के लिए एमएसएमई क्रेडिट रेटिंग एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टूल है, जो आज हमने समझा। उस इम्पॉर्टेंट टूल को स्ट्रांगली बैंकर के सामने रखने के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए, वो भी हमने आज समझा।
Thank you, Faiz. It is always a pleasure to be with SME Street and yourself, and thank you so much for calling me.
ऐसे ही चैनल के टॉपिक्स के लिए और ऐसे ही इश्यूज़ पे बात करने के लिए एसएमई स्ट्रीट व्यू पॉइंट आपके साथ है, और आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करिए। अपने कमेंट्स के ज़रिए हमें आप लिखिए, हमें बताइए कि आपको ये वीडियो कैसा लगा, और आगे आने वाले कौन कौन से ऐसे टॉपिक हो सकते हैं जो आपको आपके बिज़नेस में ग्रो करने के लिए हेल्प कर सकते हैं। Thank you so much. Stay tuned, stay connected, and prosper.